Hey everyone, welcome back to Gear Glazers. I'm Kyle, and this is Mike, aka Macaroni and Cheese. And today we're starting a brand new series titled Hot Hatches, and we're talking about none other than the Corolla GR. Mike,
Dude,
talk to me.
that's a heavily requested car from you guys.
Dude, everyone's been asking us to do the GR Corolla. And honestly, I didn't really know about it.
Yeah.
When we did the Civic video, people were like, oh, you're really just not going to talk about the Corolla? And I was like, what about the Corolla? I was ignorant.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Dude. Oh, yeah, no, it's like, I apologize, I was not familiar with your game. But,
yeah.
Dude, I thought that it was just like another sport option for the Corolla. Over the generations, Corollas always had like an S, and they slapped a spoiler on it, and they tried to make some case that it was a sports car now because of, obviously the AE86 lineage, where it used to be a sports car. Mm-hmm. But it seems like, for one generation since the 80s, they may have actually built something fun to drive.
Dude, everyone loves this thing. And, car reviewers are always going to find something bad to say about it. But, everyone seems to be glazing this thing.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing online. I mean, look at it, dude. It's hard to hate.
So, it's nice, which is rare that I say. But it is nice, I'll give you that. Let's just start talking about the competition. And we can go from there. But, you gotta compare this thing to its competition because that's where this thing shines. And so just right off the bat, let's compare this to the Type R.
Yeah. So, say what you will about, the soft skills and, the not on paper stuff. But literally on paper, this thing is better in, I think, every way, no?
So, it lost around Willow Springs.
Okay.
When Haggerty put it through Willow Springs, it lost to the Civic Type R.
Was that the circuit version?
No, that was the Marizo version.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Which seems to be, the big difference seems to be the tires.
Yeah.
There's a few differences.
It's also the limited slip differentials.
Yes, it's a limited slip differential. I know that one of the Corollas has a strengthened chassis. I don't know if the Marizo is the only one with that, but everyone says that that's the one. It's a 4-door car with 2 seats. That's insane.
That is ridiculous.
That's crazy. I don't know who's buying that, but hey, good. I'm happy that the world has you guys.
Is that available to normal people? Can you buy that?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, so compared to the Type R, it lost in Willow Springs, but it's definitely, a lot of people would say this thing is better. And the thing you cannot ignore is the price.
Yeah,
it's much cheaper than the Type R.
Yeah, so it comes in at what, 37?
So $36,500 for the lowest trim, which honestly is crazy because the other trims don't give you more performance. It's just interior options. So $36,000 is a steal for this thing.
Until you get up to the Circuit Edition, when they do give you a carbon fiber roof and a limited slip differential.
Yes, that's true.
I think in
the
front
limited
and the
slip,
back.
The limited slip is massive. The carbon fiber roof, dude, come on.
I know.
Come on, what are we
yeah,
doing?
Yeah.
But the limited slip diff is that's going to be helpful.
No,
that's pretty cool.
That's package padding. That's what that's right out of the Ford playbook. To give you the thing that you really, really want, and then throw in a bunch of garbage that you don't want.
So, to hit you with some of the facts real quick on this car, $36,500 for the lowest trim, and they all come with a 1.6-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder, 300 horse, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, right?
4.9 according to, I think Car and Driver said.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, right.
But I wanted to compare that to the normal Corolla, the non-GR. And that car is $21,500. So it is a big jump from a normal Corolla.
Yeah.
But then let's hop over to the Honda Civic Type R, $43,000.
And the normal Civic is what, 25?
I'm not sure, but I'm sure it comes in around there. The Volkswagen Golf R, $45,000. The Subaru WRX, $30,000, and this thing cooks a Subaru WRX in every way.
Not even close.
So, yeah, I mean, they kind of nailed the pricing with this one. And that's the problem. You put this car out, and it costs $55,000.
Yeah.
That's what car companies have been doing. And then I'm like, these suck.
Yeah.
Because it costs $55,000. If you put the 400Z out for $35,000, then it would be a good car. It's the fact that it just comes out too expensive that really is the biggest problem.
The Nissan Z is living in your head rent free, bro. Kyle goes to sleep and sees nightmares about the Nissan Z.
It's the worst car ever made.
Ridiculous. No, This they definitely hit their market. Like they made the thing that people wanted and they put it at the price that people wanted it at. Like you cannot get mad at them for doing this. Also, another thing that I love about it, before we stop glazing it and start getting into the things that they could have done better, is this is a literal Corolla, the hatchback, the most beloved Corolla, with a forced manual transmission, which is just, I mean, bro, like compulsory manual transmission, sign me up. But they slapped a race engine in it. This is literally like Toyota racing technology slapped into the Corolla with a GR badge on it. It's like everything lines up in just a way to like deliver efficiency. So it's not like it's low priced because they cut corners. It's low priced because they did this in the right way. This is exactly how you tune an economy car to be a sports car.
Yeah, I agree with that. And like you said, before we start getting into some of the things that they could have done better, we should compare this to the Mustang.
Always compare it to the Mustang.
I think you have to, and I think everyone's thinking, like, it's a hot hatch. Why would you compare it to that American piece of garbage? But that American piece of garbage is similarly priced, and the performance is pretty incredible. It doesn't matter how much of a hater you are. It doesn't matter if there's 7 billion Mustangs in your town. It's a good car. Yeah.
No, the Mustang EcoBoost is just, like, the craziest value. I mean, it's what we're talking about, but times 10. Like, Ford has been putting like the same parts across their entire line into like cars and sharing that assembly line and sharing those components since the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. So they're pretty locked in on making good value cars. So I don't know if we get to compete with Ford just because we're an import.
So let me ask you this. Which one of these cars are you taking? Ford Mustang or GR Corolla?
I take the EcoBoost, and it might be sacrilege, but
that's crazy. Okay, hear me out. I'm taking the GR Corolla.
Okay, what's your reasoning?
If I'm the last man on Earth, I'm taking the Mustang. Like, you know what I mean? If I live in a mountain town where no one has to see me, I'm taking the Mustang because it's a better car. But, like, I don't know, man. There's something about this thing that just has so much personality, and especially from car enthusiasts, you're really going to get, like, such a good reception.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely going to be fun to drive. I mean, it's a really well-tuned chassis. It's just going to deliver power perfectly. I think the biggest problem about it for me is just that I don't see how you tune this thing to be any better than it already is versus a Mustang EcoBoost, which has the craziest aftermarket tuning potential of all time.
No, this 3-cylinder is pretty much maxed out.
Yeah, like, what are you squeezing? Yeah, you're going to go pop a short ram intake and a tune and pretend to get more horsepower out of this without exploding the 3-cylinder engine.
So, I love that we're doing the comparisons. Honda Civic Type R we touched on. Mustang we touched on. Another one that I want to touch on is the Hyundai N.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's $32,000. That's actually less money than this. And it beat the Corolla GR Circuit Edition around Throttle House's track. So, they didn't race it against the Marizo. Maybe it would have been better because of the tires. But the point is, what's the Circuit Edition? $45,000 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Hyundai N for $32,000 beat that.
What's the drivetrain in the Hyundai N? So it's a 2-liter 4-banger turbo, putting out 276 horse, 289 torque.
Okay.
So it's like very standard 2-liter 4-banger turbo power figures.
Yeah.
So what did they do to make it faster than this?
That thing runs on hopes and dreams. That whole company's on that car's back, dude.
I know. N has just been like scalping like engineers, like brilliant engineers from German racing companies for decades, and they're finally like starting to see the effects of that pay off.
Yeah, have you seen the way that car looks though?
It's disgusting.
It's terrible. It's really, really bad. And that's where the Corolla GR's got this thing beat. The Corolla GR's is nice. Like, if you could debadge this car, it'd be sick.
The Corolla?
Yeah. It literally is a Toyota Corolla. You can't escape that.
Yeah.
Let's not get carried away here. But if you could escape that, this thing is sick.
It's so subjective sick, though, because literally what they went for is this is like a homage to the ground effects kits that went on like Japanese cars in like the Tokyo Drift era.
Which is sick.
They just... I think it's sick because that's what I grew up doing. I played like Need for Speed Underground, and that's exactly what I did. I took like a Mitsubishi Lancer and I kitted it out with the lowest possible front bumper lip.
Who didn't?
But
Midnight Double Edition, who wasn't on that?
But there's a lot of people who aren't going to mess with that. Like anybody who likes like traditional American muscle styling is going to think that it looks like a toy car. So I think it's subjective. I think it's safe to say that it looks better than an Elantra N, though.
All right, so with that said, we've been talking about the Civic Type R and how it compares to this car. That's like a perfect segment to jump into like our comment section for today. So we've been doing this new thing in some of our episodes where we've been like bringing up some of the hilarious comments that people have been posting on Instagram.
Yeah.
We'll do YouTube too. There's some comments on the shorts, but like the Instagram clips just get a lot of comments, thousands and thousands of comments.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pull from that. But there are so many comments. I've got like 8 comments. We'll try to throw some of those on the screen. But about people not believing the Civic Type R could keep up with the M2. Comment after comment. Like,
sure.
No way. No chance this thing keeps up with the M2. And, like, I literally had, like, a full-on argument with this guy in the comment section where I'm like, look at the track times. It's keeping up with an M2. Like, I'm trying to remember if I don't ever think it beat the M2. I think it was, like, within 0.0 something seconds of it.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, that's absurd from a front-wheel drive Honda.
Yeah, it's also facing off against a straight 6 turbo that's been tuned by BMW for, 30 years?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's impressive.
It's just one of those things, though. That's what you're up against with the Corolla GR and a Honda Civic Type R. People just not letting you out of the box of this is a Japanese economy car. I don't care what you do to it. Even if you literally put out a car that is objectively amazing.
Yeah. Kind of like how we do for Korean cars.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point. But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious, and we'll post those track times as well.
Yeah.
So we can just show, like, it keeps up.
No. That's one of those things that I think people miss a lot when they're like, oh yeah, but 0.2 seconds here, 0.2 seconds here. Like, the discussion, you're missing the forest for the trees. The discussion is that it's close, and that's insane.
All right, so the next comment is from Pat Kadorsky. I don't know how you pronounce that, but my sports car does 6 seconds. Sad face not respected. Because in that video we said, like, I think I asked you, like, do you remember it exactly?
Yeah, you were like, what's a respectable
and you're like, I don't know, 5 seconds? Or
I was like,
that.
about 5 seconds is respectable for a sports car these days.
And it's true, like, I do feel bad. There are people who are, like, just whipping something fun who are just like, wow.
Yeah. I apologize, Pat Kotorski. I'm sure your car is fun to drive.
Yeah, you gotta send us some pictures of that thing. Like, what is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Let's get some dash cam footage of you gapping a moped.
Oh man, but yeah, that wraps up some of the comments. Like, every episode we'll try and bring in a few, just because, like, that is honestly one of the best parts of this channel. Is reading and responding to comments all day. It is just the most fun.
Yeah, so please argue with us. Please post all your thoughts. That's one of the big things that we want to do this. It's just supposed to be an open forum for just, like, expressing car opinions, and not the same ones that are, like, being parroted by, like, Motor Trend. We're trying to, like, bypass that and all the companies that have been bought out by Big Motor.
Yeah, feel free to disagree with us. Seriously.
Please do. All right. So you didn't bring up any of, like, the engineering that went into this thing, which I'm surprised about, because you can get super nerdy with this, and I think that's, like, one of the core things about this car, which is why it's effective in the market that it's effective in. And what I mean by that is, like, this is not a car for tinkerers, because, like I said, I don't think you can tune it.
Yeah.
This isn't a car for, like, numbers people. This isn't a car for people who are like, oh, I need the lowest 0 to 60. I need to launch control this in perfect conditions with the best perfect tires and get 0.1 seconds. Nobody's taking this thing to a drag strip. So none of that matters. What matters for these people is what I think matters for a lot of people who are into, like, tech. Like, I'm thinking, like, Marquez Brownlee video where he, like, talks about the new iPhone and, like, what it has, or, like, the new MacBook, or, like, what they just added. Like,
I agree.
That's what this feels like to me. This feels like technology, and it feels like a cool thing. And there's a lot of really, really cool technology kind of hidden under the surface in this. Yeah. So I just want to dive into that a little bit. One of the things is this is the transmission from a Lotus Evora.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't that sick?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So that feels like it's well in the, like, that's one of those badges. It's like, what's one of those things that's like, this is the, like, 300ZX owners saying that these are the headlights from the Lamborghini Diablo. Yeah. That's like one of those, like, badges of honor that you get to say.
No, that is super cool.
On at least the circuit edition with the limited slip differentials, so this is a 4-wheel drive car, but you can actually alter the amount of power, like between the front and the back wheels, and I think you can go anywhere from 50-50 to like 70-30.
70-30, I saw that.
Yeah,
Which is really cool that they're doing things like that. Like that's something that like new cars have over old ones. That kind of tech is cool. Like I'm sure you've seen it on every review channel, but like the Golf R, allowing you to put like spin to one tire.
Yeah.
It sends power to just the outside tire so you can actually drift it. Like
Yeah.
that's sick. That's pretty cool.
Very, very dope. I'm sure that this is one of those cars that just like no matter what you do, you chuck it into a corner, it's just going to be fine. Just because if you have that much technology and like limited slip differentials for both the front and the rear, obviously able to like translate power on like a moment's notice, it's definitely like making those kind of like calculations like midway through a corner just to make sure that you're maintaining like maximum grip, which is probably just hilarious in a car like this that's already overpowered for the amount of weight that it has. Like this thing's definitely a fun like, and that's the point. It's like not technology for no reason. Like it's technology to make this thing do what it's meant to do for fun. And I think all that kind of comes together in a package. And I think that's why this is cool, because if it weren't for the way that it advances technology and implements it in a really efficient way, I don't think that this would actually have a place in Toyota's lineup. I don't think there would be a reason to buy it.
I understand what you're saying, and I think that like just to echo off that, for example, the engine. 100 horsepower per cylinder. That's pretty crazy.
That's another one of those badges.
Like think about what that looks like. That's 800 horsepower V8, 600 horsepower V6. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So that is pretty awesome that they've managed to do that. It's also the GR Yaris engine, which everyone knows, but like boosted even more. They got more horsepower out of the rally spec Yaris. Like that's yeah, they're doing some things with this.
From what I understand, it's also like a really even power delivery, which, dude, like anybody who like has turboed a 4-cylinder engine knows that that's the biggest thing. Like how do you deal with turbo lag when you don't have a large amount of exhaust gases? Black magic. I don't know. Just technology.
Yeah, dude, seriously, that's where the tech comes in.
Yeah. Insane. So that's just some cool stuff that Toyota figured out. And that kind of like leads me to question, like, how hard was Subaru holding Toyota back?
With the GR86?
Yeah. Because why is this so awesome and is based off a platform that Toyota had with technology that is explicitly Toyota's, but the GR86 is just like, well, so much more basic.
This really brings to the table a larger discussion. How much was BMW holding Toyota back?
Well, okay, hang on.
Hey, I'm just asking the real questions. Because when Toyota actually makes a car on their own, it's good.
I think it's an issue of diminishing returns because I think the GR Supra is significantly better than the GR Corolla.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
It's a better car.
Yeah, but not for the money. Bang for buck. Buck for bad. What am I saying right now?
Bang for your buck. Yeah. Dollar, pound for pound, dollar for dollar.
Pound for pound, dollar for dollar. The Corolla's way better.
Dude.
Way better than the Supra.
I mean, dude, you can make that case for anything based off price because we know that, like, law of diminishing returns. The more you spend, the, like, less increment, like, of performance increase you're going to get.
Yes, but you can get, like, best bang for your buck under 40, best bang for your buck under 50, best bang for your buck under 60. Like, wherever you want to compare this, the GR Corolla has a place in that conversation. The GR Supra doesn't, because when you take the GR Supra, you're going to compare it against a car that is 50 grand, 55 grand, and it's just going to demolish it.
It's true. But if Toyota made, like, a $60,000 sports car, like, what platform would they even base that off of?
I mean, it'd be the Supra, but good.
But what platform? Like, what are they going to make it out of a Camry?
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. Because they needed the Z4.
They needed the Z4, so
they'd make it from the ground up.
Well, then it's not going to cost 60 grand. The only reason this costs under 40 is because it's a Corolla and they make a metric ton of them every year.
Well, they need to make a new car.
I've been telling Toyota, I've been writing them letters every night asking them to make a new sports car, and I haven't gotten a response a single time yet. But
well, yeah. When my point is, when they do something on their own, they're good. When they're bogged down by Subaru or BMW, we get these shells of vehicles.
Oh my god, dude! Here we go with the Supra hate again, dude. The Supra. I thought you liked Japan.
I love Japan, and that's why I'm heartbroken. We've been over that.
Oh my god. All right, you got anything else before we jump into news?
Do we want to give this thing a Glaze score?
Yeah, we do. We very much do.
Okay, so we just took a look at my Civic Type R score, and like I literally gave this car the exact same score.
Yeah.
Like in order,
Yeah.
which is crazy. But okay, let's start with performance. We can get through this pretty quickly, but for performance, I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 6, and I gave the Type R a 5, and I gave this 1 more.
You thought it was better?
I thought it was a little
Just the
bit
four-wheel
better.
drive system?
Yeah. The 4-wheel drive system and just the power delivery I thought was cooler.
Also, this thing low-key has off-road performance.
Actually.
Yeah, it actually does. Because it's based on the Rally Yaris.
Facts. I could see this thing rip a
Dude,
rally.
legitimately, the chassis is structured in a different way. Like actually, this thing has off-road prowess in a way that the Civic does not. So, but come on, what do we, like... 6 is getting into, like...
It's up there.
Serious territory.
It's up there, but I think there has to be like a little bit of the performance score that takes into account like the class that the car's in. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
this thing
right.
isn't like a 5,000-pound sedan.
You're right. I'm gonna give it a 5, but with one little tear, and we're gonna leave it at that.
5 and a star.
Yeah, 5 and a star. Okay, design. What do you got?
Design. I put 4.
I put 4 as well. And I also gave the Civic. Well, obviously we went over this, but I gave the Civic Type R a 4.
Yeah, I think I gave the Civic Type R a 5, just because I like the Civic base generation design better than I like the Corolla base design, but they're pretty similar.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're both pretty nice. I maybe like this one a little bit better personally, but this one looks more like common traffic. People are just gonna be like, okay, cool, nice Toyota, like.
Yeah.
So I had to go 4 on that. Value. What do you got?
Value. I actually put 7. They made it under the 40K mark.
I gave it an 8.
Yeah, this
Straight up, dude. Like, for that much money, with a warranty, brand spanking new, 35 Gs, or whatever, 36.
Yeah.
It's like, that's great value.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun to drive.
Oh yeah, this thing's probably a blast.
It's getting 34 miles to the gallon.
Yeah.
It's gonna be comfy as hell to drive to work. It has a hatchback so you can fit stuff in it. Like, yeah, it's just this thing. If this is your only car, it's a great buy for value.
Absolutely, bang for your buck through the roof. Perception. What do you got?
Perception 3.
Same.
Nice.
And I also gave the Civic Type R a 3. It's just like, again, like, people are just not going to recognize that this is a Gazoo Racing.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to be like, this is a Corolla.
It's a Toyota Corolla.
It's a nice Corolla, but it's a Corolla.
Have you heard one of these like in person?
No.
It's really loud.
That's hilarious.
I don't know if the person that like I was walking next to, because it was like literally parked and just idling, and I walked by it and I was like, what is that car? And I rounded the corner.
Maybe it wasn't stock?
No, I think it was, and I think maybe he had it in like track mode.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, dude, this thing is crazy loud, and I think that that's such like a weird look coming from this car, and that's kind of like, it kind of like put me off. It kind of felt like a little ricey.
Yeah, no, I get that. You got to drive your car in track mode, by the way. I drive my car in track mode every single day of my life.
Dude.
Like an insane human.
Yeah.
My exhaust pipes are just black. From all the fuel that I'm just blowing out the back. Like,
I paid for the performance. I'm going to use every horsepower.
No, that's exactly what's going through my head. I'm like, I could have saved a lot of money if I wanted to drive this thing in tour mode. Like, that's boy math. That's boy math for you right there.
Boy math is putting your car in track mode.
Boy math is getting 9 MPGs because I spent a lot of money on this car.
No, literally, yeah. Trying to squeeze out every ounce of performance that you paid
exactly.
for.
That's boy math.
That's hilarious. Literally just going through the McDonald's drive-thru in track mode.
Dude, literally. Idle, whatever. I'm just cruising down the highway, just spitting fuel out the back. I'm like, I gotta spend money on this fuel because I spent so much money on the car.
Classic. Oh, man.
All right, news.
Yeah, okay. So, we're going to try something new. We're going to finish out this episode with just talking about some news.
Let's hear it.
So, I thought that this was relevant because we're talking about the GR Corolla. Okay. But the GR86 is finally getting a turbo, and Toyota's cutting ties with Subaru.
Okay. Interesting. Do we have any horsepower figures or performance numbers?
Let's see. Yeah. Dude, it looks like they're giving it the engine that's in the Corolla and the Yaris.
Really?
The 1.6 turbo.
Huh. And what's the expected horse? 300?
350.
Bro, what are they? What
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
One day, are they going to get 550 out of this 3-cylinder? Like,
I think they're saying it's going to be electrically assisted, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, 350 coming from that engine is going to be pretty sick. That's going to be an awesome car.
Dude, that's what we said the issue with that car was. It was a drivetrain issue.
Literally. And if you fix that, then the GR is actually a cool car.
And it's a light engine, so it's going to maintain being a light sports car. It's going to be electrified. They're probably going to do something similar to what Porsche did with the 911, where it's just a high-density lithium battery that's like this big, driving a single motor. It's padding it like 40 extra horsepower or something.
No, that's actually, congrats. If they pull that off, the GR86 has been fixed.
So the biggest criticism of that was that that's getting into like the 4-cylinder Supra territory, and now that's essentially the same car. But not only is the Supra getting discontinued, but the 4-cylinder Supra is already discontinued.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah.
We don't want that. Like, we don't want a heavy Supra with low power figures. Give me a lighter car. If I'm going into Supra territory, I need more performance.
Yeah. No, 100%. This is one of the best decisions I've seen come out of Toyota in a long time. We've been asking where the turbo GR86 is since the old GT86 came out. It's taking them a while because they said it's coming out in 2028. But dude, I'm still hyped for it,
bro. Who knows?
I know.
Mike's still gonna be allowed to drive by then.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Okay, so another farewell to a icon of a sports car, but the GTR is getting discontinued.
You know, that gives me mixed feelings.
Yeah.
On one hand, that is an icon that I absolutely love, and I have loved and adored for such a long time. Anyone who says the GTR is not good, I just stop talking.
Yeah.
That car is amazing.
Yeah.
But it's been the same car for I don't even know how long.
17 years.
Yeah, that's... Something's going on in Japan. Throwback. Yeah, it's too long. That thing should have been updated twice. It should have had major updates in that 17-year period. And it had 0.
I mean, if you look at the GTR, like the old one, they had the R32 in the mid to late 80s, the R33 in the late 80s to early 90s, and the R34 in the late 90s to early 2000s. So that was like a 6 to 8 year production cycle,
which by the way is the right amount of years.
Yeah.
Look, we don't need a BMW 3 years.
No.
We don't need a new car every 3 years. But like, I mean, I'm always gonna get crucified for being a Corvette glazer. But like, again, what was it, like 7 years? It was 2014, I think the C7 came out.
Yeah.
To 2020. Okay, 6 years. Like 6-7 years is around the right time for a new model update. For just give me a new car every 6-7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know why, but they just literally kept this thing mostly the same. To their credit, they did optimize and it stayed competitive, like on the track for a while.
Competitive is interesting verbiage. Like when this car came out, it was like, oh wow, this car's awesome. It's setting records. It's doing things that we've never seen before. Yeah. And then it literally just went,
yeah,
just for the entire life cycle of the car.
Yeah, no, it showed up to the arcade, it set a record, and then didn't come back for 15 years. But the record still stayed up there.
Yeah,
it was on the board.
Yeah, but I mean, all the vultures came out and just started feasting, and like this car was no longer competitive, and it's not relevant. I don't talk about it today. I don't care about it today.
No.
I see one on the road, and I'm like, oh, sick. Like the R35 just does nothing for me anymore, and like that didn't have to be the case. We should have been sitting in an R36, like in the land of Z06s, we should have had R36 competition.
Yeah, Nissan should have seen that coming and put out something way more impressive 2 years before the Z06 came out.
Dude, again, I'm like, when we start talking about Nissan from a performance perspective, I don't know what they are thinking. I don't know what they're thinking. Okay, just bear with me. I know 400Z sucks. Everyone, it's annoying that I keep saying it. Okay, it sucks. The GTR hasn't gotten a new edition in 17 years, you said? What do you think is going on over there? Do they hate us?
They do. They definitely do hate us because of import taxes. They're like, if the only people in the world that can like afford these cars are in the US, then why would we, and they're going to tax us like 50% on imports, then why would we even...
This is your conspiracy? It's taxes, that's the reason why their cars suck?
Well, that's the reason why we never get anything cool here and why eventually they stop making them for us, yeah. Like,
yeah, but there's no cars in Japan that are killing it either from Nissan.
yeah, but that market doesn't really care. Like, where the horsepower race is like here, dude. Like, nobody else really cares.
Yeah, Nissan is just not in the discussion when we talk about performance. And they have been for so many years.
Yeah, I don't blame...
So many years.
I don't blame Nismo, I blame the U.S. government.
And not only do they take themselves down, but my first car was an Infiniti, which was a Nissan. And Infinity's not even in the conversation anymore because Nissan gave up.
They did.
So when you hear M2s, you hear AMGs, you never hear anything about Infiniti because there's nothing from Nissan.
When it came out, they must have been losing money on those cars or something because those cars were insane performatively.
Yeah, they set the world ablaze with the 350Z and the G35.
Mm-hmm.
There's a billion of them. I have one.
Yeah.
And then they just, when the world needed them most, they vanished.
It's true. But they're going to come back in 100 years like the Avatar. The GTR is like literally trapped in ice with its Sky Bison right now.
We'll see.
Farewell to the GTR and its 2 facelifts over the course of the last 17 years.
Good riddance.
Still a GTR.
See you later.
See you later, alligator. You're gonna get one for $150,000 before they go extinct?
No. $150. It's a 17-year-old new car. What do you mean?
No, 17-year-old new car is crazy.
That's crazy, bro.
The fact that they're selling that as a 2024, bro.
It's robbery.
They could have had one on the lot that they forgot about since like 2004.
And it's the same thing. It doesn't even. They're like Apple CarPlay. What was that? There's like, well, technically this is still new.
I would genuinely be shocked if this thing had like functioning Apple CarPlay if you got it brand new. This thing definitely has a 6-disc CD changer and a Bose stereo.
For sure.
Okay.
Alright, well with that said, this was a pretty cool episode. The GR Corolla is another Japanese car that I like. It's a air quotes slow Japanese car that I like, along with the Civic Type R.
It's respectable though.
It is respectable, but you can't say that I hate all Japanese cars. I just hate the ones that suck like the 400Z and the Supra S. See you guys later.